Good morning and happy 4th of July to everybody. It is the 4th of July for me. I'm going to go light off some fireworks later today. You know, I notice a lot of my videos, I do a lot of this. It's because I need a haircut. But I've been so busy that I have yet to get out to get a haircut. So I just do this. Because, yeah, I'm just lazy, I'm going to be honest. Trying to get into my house, but apparently I locked the garage door here, so I had to get in through the front door. But anyways, it's been a little bit since I made a video. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks since I made a video. I know I knocked like 3 out pretty quickly, but this one is a pretty good one, I'll be kind of honest. I gotta get my little handy dandy hood popper 9000 over here. Yeah. There we go. So since my last video, obviously I got the engine in, and I kind of put the mounts in places, and I started tearing apart some stuff. This about sums it up, right? Well, I had a local gentleman come by, and we built some engine mounts for the Chevette. As you can see, it's gonna hang low. I've never dealt with a engine mount like this before that sits low, but we welded it to the subframe where he's going to come back and finish this weld out and then plug weld these holes so they don't retain any water. We did cut and bend the mount, and then he filled that in as well. So once those are completely in, I'm going to come back and spray paint them. But I'm also going to pull the whole engine out and paint the whole engine bay. Maybe. I don't know. Still have to pressure wash it one more time. But then he also did the driver's side. He completed the driver's side completely. We had to move the proportioning valve out of the way to get the mount in. So I'm going to drill a hole and probably riv nut on top of the mount, so that way the proportioning valve could sit back down. But other than that, the engine is completely in. The Chevette is on all 4 tires. And I think we have like a 2.3 degree tilt to the back, which we can correct when we build the transmission mount, and we could tilt the engine forward and give it like a 0 degree if we want it to be really crazy about it. Because right now, if you can't tell, but the engine, the rubber mounts or the poly mounts are kind of have a little bit of flex to them. But one of the issues that I have run into, and I already fitted it because I couldn't help myself. If you go to my Instagram, Lunchbox605, one of the issues that I ran into with the turbo assist kit here is that we have a little bit of a fitment issue. There we have it. Now it's just being held on by one bolt here, and this bolt's kind of was started, but I got that tape that's kind of blocking it. So again, the issue that I face, zoom out here just a little bit, give more view of the area, is that unfortunately, if you look like this, and then you look like this, that turbo is going to stick through the hood. Now, I did a poll yesterday on a couple different platforms. For those that voted, thank you. But a lot of people did not want this thing through the hood. I had messages, some very upset messages. So I actually yesterday cut a section of the bracing out. I might as well just cut the rest of the bracing out, to be honest with you, from like there and forward. But I cut a lot of the bracing out, and then this big square right here is pretty much, I don't know how well you can see it. You can kind of see a reflection, but that big, huge square or rectangle was going to be like where the turbo would actually sit in correlation with the hood. I really thought about it, and I listened to the people, and I think that I'm just gonna hide it. I'm gonna hide it underneath the hood, because if we look at it, I can just cut it right here at this 90 and then rotate the entire turbo down. I still probably would have enough room to run an exhaust pipe. I want to run an exhaust once I cleared all this wiring in the chain and everything. Then I could run probably some exhaust down in here somewhere. I'm gonna probably run like a 3-inch exhaust, but I don't know, we'll see how it works. But right now, I think currently that this is the plan. I really wanted to like put it through the hood, trust me. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, if it rains and I'm driving, I'm gonna be sucking in water. I mean, I could put like an elbow on it, or I could put like a little bubble, make like a little bubble top, like you see on the old Trans Ams and like the Eclipses, the GSXs back in the '90s. They had that little bubble above like where or on the hood. You know, I could build something like that, but then that would require me to probably you know, do some body work, and I'm not a body guy. I don't really feel like being a body guy. I could 3D print a bubble, drill some holes, and then rivet it to the hood. But again, for the same amount of effort that I put into that, I could save this pristine, non-dented, non-hail beaten hood and just push that turbo down and hide it. There's a gentleman named Quentin who has an LS1 or LS swapped. I shouldn't say LS1 because I don't even know if it's an LS1, but he has an LS swapped Chevette as well, and his is turboed. And he basically this whole entire area out right here, because as I thought it was completely structural, it is not. So his turbo from basically here to here is a big open spot, and he just sunk it down in there. One of the things, now that we're in this area, this battery tray is actually welded, spot welded to the body too. So it's hard to say what I'm gonna do with that. I might just like cut this section off here and then just cut that where that edge is and just kind of leave this whatever. But we'll see what I decide to do with that. I might just do the same thing as Quentin and just cut this whole entire section out, because it is, I mean, it's fairly sturdy. Like this rust is looks crusty and bad, but it's pretty much surface, or else I feel like I could clean it off with a wire wheel. But as it sits, this is the game plan. We are going to clock the turbo's exhaust manifold to lower the turbo so it can fit under the hood. We are going to drill some holes to mount the proportioning valve properly, and then we got to make a cross member mount. So those are the three next steps. After that, I can work on the cooling system. So obviously the engine is in here, and it looks really good. Like this engine looks good. I have about a 1/16 of an inch of clearance up front, but with the transmission not being actually like mounted where it's supposed to be, that can change at any point in time. For all I know, that the engine is going to stick through the hood. So it is a little later in the day. It got really hot, and I did get busy cutting some stuff and moving some stuff. As you can see, there's a manifold, there's no turbo, there's a giant hole. Mistakes I don't think were made, but I definitely can say that I had to do what I had to do. Fit it and clocked it. The battery tray just has that lip around it, and the lip was just obstructing the T4 flange from actually like setting where I needed it. So one of the problems is obviously, like I said, it was spot welded, or it was welded to the inner fender well area right here. So I had to kind of cut it out. I cut too far back, and as you can see, here's the fender well for the Chevette. And then I tried massaging a lot of this metal back because as I was cutting, the reciprocating saw, or my sawzall, was just starting to pull on the metal. That's how thin and soft it is here. So I'm going to trim it up along the edge here and try to smooth that out. But with everything that said, I took the drain and the feed line off of the turbo here. Zoom out. I always just leave this thing in a 1. I should have just put it in a 6. So, but anyways, as it sits here, the turbo is going to sit basically kind of like in this area, but I'm going to push it forward. The reason being is this is going to be kind of hard, I'll be honest. I apologize. There we go. Hopefully that's good enough for you guys to see. So basically, as I said, I kind of clocked it like this, but as you can see, it comes really close. Or I clocked it a little bit further. It comes really close to the fender well or inner fender well area here, so I couldn't be able to run a great exhaust. Now, if I move it forward like this, I don't know if that's in the frame or not. Hold on, get it. But if I scoot it forward like this, I have enough room to kind of route exhaust, and also it's going to sit below the hood, and I can run the cold side stuff down into the opening there. I obviously have to clock the drain and the feed line here, and I probably have to remake those now, but generally just moving it this far forward is going to give me what I want with kind of turbo placement. It will sit kind of just a little bit above the core support here, but it'll still sit below the hood. I will not have any issues. And then it'll have a little bit of room right here with an inlet as far as getting air in. I will probably end up having to take this wiring, all this wiring right here, and it's going to get tucked up high enough. And I decided to take the turbo guard off of the Blazer, and right there, I'm going to run this turbo guard on that turbo because it does fit, and that'll also help in case like this wiring or whatever somehow comes loose. It's not going to get eaten up by the compressor housing. It'll just stay where it's at, or it'll get blocked up and it'll just sit up against it. It won't do anything. So I need to order some of this piping here. It's schedule 10 is what I used. And once I get it in, we'll do all that. And kind of clocking it like this, I can also weld on like maybe a Motion Raceworks flange and just have the wastegate shoot straight down. And that'll kind of be nice too. It really sucks that I have to do a lot of this. I wanted to place it under the hood after the decision of everybody else. I'd rather just sit it below the hood, because honestly, if I cut the hood and it sits above the hood and I'm not happy with it, and you know, then I have to live with that until I can find a nice pristine hood, and then I have to redo the turbo manifold itself and the whole turbo hot side, cold side piping, everything. I'd have to redo so much. So I'd just rather get it out of the way now and just do it like this. I can still keep the nice, cool sleeper status. Hopefully, after we redo the cross member and everything like that, the engine will still clear this hood, and I can, you know, still remain to keep it as a sleeper. In regards to the exhaust though, how it sits like here, whenever I get it set up, maybe I'll be able to like get it around this, and I'll just put a bunch of heat shielding up over here, because I don't want to get anything ruined by just the heat of the exhaust. Just have that nice exhaust just come down, like I said before, just down in that area. My biggest issue is if I clocked it all the way down here and it sat where it did before I cut that big hole, I would have had to cut this section away, and I'm trying not to cut a lot of this body away. Although, like I said, that section that I cut away was not structural. The closer you cut to the struts, the more you're compromising the strength and rigidity of the front suspension. Some people say that that's bullshit. I don't know. I've never tested it. I've never had a car like this. I've always had cars like the Blazer over here, where it was a full frame and had control arms. So I never had to worry about that. With this car, it's completely different. It's new to me. Obviously, this build as well is new to me. All that being said, thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Sorry, that wasp is like in and out, and I'm getting really skeptical about its positioning in my garage. So with that being said, I hope you can comment, like, subscribe. You didn't blow any fingers off in doing so. Be safe, and I'll hopefully have a really cool update for you with everything that I just said. All right, I'm out of here.